Good hospitality design is something that's functional, that the ebbs and the flows, all work well together. It's very important that, whoever you're dealing with when it comes to design, that it's a team process. Because, chef's going to know how the kitchen's going to work, but then also you've got the architect that wants to design his vision. And I think it all has to come together. For the customer coming into a restaurant to see a beautiful design, visually, I think is really important, but also the comfort of it too. I think you look back into restaurants 30 years ago and you might have a little restaurant that, the interior was average, but the food was good. Everyone went for the food, and that's the only reason they went. Nowadays, people want everything. They want a good seat to sit on. They want good food, they want a good wine list, they want good service, but they also want good acoustics. They want it to be comfortable, they want everything, which is not a bad thing. When I opened my first restaurant at 22, very different Map Moran to what it is now. I opened the Paddington Bistro with Peter Sullivan. Pete was a bit older. Pete had a bit more knowledge about running a business, but not a lot more. We were very naive when we did it. And, I suppose, I didn't want to be told what to do anymore and wanted to do it for myself. And I love those days. We thrived on, running our own business, but not really knowing what we were doing. I remember, even after the first few months thinking, God, this is easy, we've got so much money in the bank. But obviously you learned very quickly that, there's a big business side to running a restaurant, and surrounding myself with people that actually knew more about running a business than what I did. For me in the kitchen, I was an absolute beast. I just wanted to strive for excellence and work as many hours as I possibly could and get as many accolades as I possibly could. In the early days, as a chef, it's your way or the highway. I think as a young chef, I was probably much more temperamental, much more ego-driven. But at the same time, when you're striving for excellence and you want to make a name for yourself, and if you come into the restaurant and you have a bad salad, you don't go, well, the apprentice made you a bad salad. It comes back to your brand and your name. I don't regret those days. Those days were really tough, but they're the days that shape you into the person you are. The current state of hospitality is pretty tough out there. I think the economic pressures of really sort of starting to come through, and from what you hear, and particularly winter months, it's been really tough out there. Revenue not so bad, but trying to make that margin is tougher. Look, I was very young when I got into the kitchen. I was 15 when I started at Le Beurre Helene. I was very lucky in life, is where I found something that I fell in love with, and it's been a great love affair ever since. What's the famous saying, you do what you love in life, you never have to work another day. What keeps me in the industry is that I know nothing else. It's, I know that sounded like I'd get out if I could. I wouldn't. I'm very passionate about the industry. I love the industry. I'm very passionate about the produce side of it, and provenance and seasonality, and having a farming background and being a farmer and a son of a farmer. I'm very passionate about that side of it too. There's no question, if it wasn't for the producers and the farmers, I wouldn't be the restaurateur and the chef that I am today, because it's their produce that we're putting on the plate. And I'm just very passionate about, their plight. I think on a general stance, Australian food is second to none. I really believe that. You can go to Italy, for instance, and Sicily, and you have this great produce, but they're doing the same thing. You're getting a beef carpaccio, you're getting a vitello tonato. It hasn't really evolved that much. The standard restaurants is where you can go to any sort of bistro or restaurant in Sydney and have much better quality. Our produce is broader, I think, than some countries, but the level of cooking that we have in Australia is second to none. We've exported all our chefs for many years, and they've gone out there and then they've come back with that knowledge too. So we're very lucky, I think. But yeah, I still think we're definitely up there, world class. I think the best in the world, but someone's going to always argue that, aren't they?